Hello and welcome. My name's Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind The Country Chic Cottage. Today we're going to talk about Subli-Finishing Foil and using it with sublimation for cotton and dark colors, but this product is good on cotton, polyester, whatever shirts that you might have, and yes, you can use it on dark colors. What is it? It is a foil product. I'm going to use the pink on a couple of things today, but it also comes in tons of different finishes, colors, that type of thing. So you can see like a rainbow in my hand, tons of different options with this product, and you put it on top of sublimation, but there are a few other steps and a few other products you need in between there to make it permanent. Now you can see I've made a shirt. I also made a black tote bag. So this is a foil product, so you can see that shimmer and that shine from the foil. So if you want to add foil to clothing, this might be the option for you. So if you've ever wanted to take your sublimation to the next level and add some of that foil finish to your designs, well, Subli-Finishing Foil might just be for you. So first, let's take a look at the products we're going to use, because there are quite a few steps to this system and you don't want to miss any of them. For this to work, you will need a few supplies. So the steps in order are going to be to print on Subli-Light. Subli-Light is the first, and I'm going to walk through how to print on that with your sublimation printer with sublimation ink installed. Then once we have it printed on the Subli-Light, we're going to press it to our surface, and on top of that, we are going to use Subli-Finishing Foil. This is the next step to get your foil to stick, and you don't print or anything on the finishing foil itself. You just press it on top of the Subli-Light. Then you go to your foil. The foil is a special foil and it's available in a wide range of colors. I have 3 different ones here just for demonstration purposes, but you can get it in a variety of colors as well as finishes. Then to make your image last as long as possible, you're going to want to do a finishing cover sheet. There is matte and gloss. I will be doing both. I'll tell you what I think of both of those and what the differences are. You may not be able to see the differences on screen. We'll see what happens, but I'll definitely tell you what I think of both the matte and the gloss finishing sheet, but that should make your product last a lot longer, so be sure not to skip that step. Now I am going to walk through the steps, but this is a quick process. So as soon as I print on the Subli-Light, I need to be ready to press with the Subli-Light, then immediately with the finishing foil, then the foil on top. So it's going to be a super quick process. My heat press is already heating up. My sublimation printer is ready. As soon as it comes off the sublimation printer, you need to start this process. Do not let it sit. But first, let's take a look at some samples that I printed and talk about your print settings. The instructions for the Subli-Light say to print using like the plain paper setting. However, when I did that, I got lines every single time. So I tried a variety of settings here, all with plain paper. And every time I got vertical, horizontal lines on my print. So I was not happy with this. You may see some roller marks here. So I'm using an Epson EcoTank printer converted for sublimation. These pizza wheel roller marks are common with that printer on some surfaces, including the Subli-Light. Now, the more ink I put down on this paper, the worse these marks are. And when I use something like the matte paper setting or the glossy paper setting, I get more pronounced pizza wheel marks on my paper, but I get fewer lines within the print itself. So for me, I needed to find a happy medium with my print settings. So what I ended up doing was something like this, which is high quality with the matte paper setting, turning any fast printing off. The pizza wheel marks get a little worse with this method, but I'm going to show you what I do to minimize those with my method. Now, I do want to caution you on something. You may see an ink smear right here. That is because this ink basically stays wet. Like this has been laying on my table for over 48 hours from the time I experimented to the time I shot this video, and the ink is still wet. It will never dry on the Subli-Light. So you do not want to touch any of the ink that you want pressed to your surface. So be careful of that using this method. And again, as soon as it comes off the printer, you want to press it as soon as possible to get the best effect. The first thing you want for this project is an all black image. If you have any color, you would need to pull it into a program like Photoshop and change all the colors to black. We are going to print this. I've already sized it to be the size that I want. And I will link to this image below if you wanted to use this specific one. So I am using 8.5 by 11 size Subli-Light. It does come in other sizes, by the way. And I have my sublimation printer chosen here. I also turned off any ICC profiles. So I told it that printer manages the colors. And then we'll head to print settings. And again, I found that the best options were to use matte paper setting, high quality, and then here is the way you'd make sure that it only prints in black ink. Instead of color, which is probably what your printer is on, you want to change it to black/grayscale. Then it will only print black. The other thing you just want to double check is to make sure that your image is mirrored and that high speed is off. Now that we have all those settings set up, I can go ahead and print this on the Subli-Light. Remember, as soon as it comes out of the printer, I'm going to start my pressing. That means that my heat press is already heating up. So first, when it comes out of the printer, I want to remove some of these pizza wheel marks. So all I'm using is a very slightly damp paper towel and carefully removing some of the pizza wheel marks. Now, once again, you don't want to get too close to any ink that you want to save, as it will smudge as this ink is very wet. Do this very, very quickly. I find that having slight pizza wheel marks doesn't really affect the final product, like they won't really transfer to your surface. So I wouldn't get too overboard, and you can actually leave some of these. Now, your heat press needs to be hot. The entire foam pad plus the metal plate on the bottom of your heat press needs to be hot. In order to do that, you'll want to press it with nothing in it several times, and then you want to pre-press your fabric. So I'm going to put my shirt on there, I'm going to pre-press it, and then as soon as I'm done pre-pressing, I'm going to lift that up, no matter if it's still hot. I'm going to go ahead and place that transfer onto my shirt, ink side down, but do this quickly as soon as it comes off the printer. And then we're going to have light pressure, and we're going to press for 10 to 15 seconds. Now this is at 356 degrees Fahrenheit, or 180 degrees Celsius. Once you press the Subli-Light for 10 to 15 seconds, you're going to open up the heat press, then you're going to wait for 2 seconds before you take the Subli-Light off. Take the Subli-Light off and do not remove this from the press the entire time. Take the Subli-Light off and immediately place a sheet of Subli-Finishing Foil with the matte side face down onto your design. And then we're going to press again for 10 seconds. Again, light pressure. So 10 seconds, light pressure on the Subli-Finishing Foil. When that's done, open up your heat press, immediately peel back the Subli-Finishing Foil while it's hot, and place your foil matte side down onto the design. Now we're going to increase the pressure. You want high pressure. I found that the more pressure, the better on this. And we're going to press for 30 seconds this time. 30 seconds, high pressure with the foil. Then you're going to open that press up and you're going to let everything cool down completely before peeling that foil back. Then once it's cool, we can peel that foil back and we'll add the fixing sheet. So to make your foil last a little bit longer, you may want to add this step. So you put that down onto your design, press again, 30 seconds, that high pressure again for the fixing sheet. So I did want to show you the foil after transferring. It definitely transfers to your shirt. So you can even see my hand through the sheet at this point. It definitely transfers all onto your shirt and you have that foil design. So let's take a look at those finishes. Here are a couple things I made, both with the pink foil. So this version has the matte finishing sheet and this version has the gloss finishing sheet. I can't really tell a difference between the two. I would say whichever one you would like to try, go ahead and give that a try. Now this foil itself is a matte foil, so maybe that makes a difference, but I really don't see a difference in the two. Now let's talk about a few mistakes that you can make with this product and the best ways to avoid them. All right, first mistake, hopefully you can see up here that not all of my foil transferred to the surface. So I have some areas that did not transfer. I really think that this was from pressure. So the higher the pressure you can get on that foil transfer step, the better luck you'll have with the transfer of your foil. The other thing is making sure again, that you do this quickly as soon as it comes off the printer, because any ink that dries will also have an effect where not all of your foil will transfer. Next up, and this may be hard to see, hopefully maybe in this leaf, you can see some filled in areas. Those will come out as long as I sit here and mess with it. That was from letting that Subli-Light sit too long on that first press and cool too much before I peeled it off. Lift the press 2 seconds and remove that sheet, and remove it quickly. Do not pull it off slowly, because you will get these little areas that stay in there, and basically you have to take a pair of tweezers and get them out. It'll be like a white or clear area, if you can't see it on the video, inside, like inside these leaf areas. I have a few. So all I have to do is take a pair of tweezers and just like pull those out, because they're not actually stuck to the shirt. It's just the material of that Subli-Light sort of stuck in between the webbing of my leaves. So it is fixable, but definitely avoidable if you peel that quickly while it's hot after those 2 seconds. All right, so now you're ready to make your projects. So remember what I talked about with my tips and tricks for getting the best results. I do think this is a product that the first few you might have some issues with. So something like this cheap black cotton tote bag is a perfect thing to practice on. So I could actually practice on both sides of this. It would be a great practice thing, and then maybe if it turns out well, I have a cute tote bag, but otherwise, like, you know, I paid a couple bucks for it and I can toss it. So I definitely recommend something cheap to test this product on. The product itself is not cheap, so definitely consider that, all that testing that you might have to do to get it right. But if you're looking for that foil finish, this product might just be for you. This is a cold wash cycle, inside out, no fabric softener, no liquid detergent, no tumble dry. You need to hang it to dry, line dry it, and if you're ironing it, you need to cover the print with something when you're ironing. So now I'm going to drop all the links for everything I used in the description below this YouTube video. If you're on computer, click show more. If you're on mobile, click on the arrow to expand the description, or swipe up on the video, either one. Then you'll see a list of the products I used along with links of where to purchase them. You can head to those links, check them out. And I may link to a couple of different sources, and that way if someone's running a sale, you can get the sale, because I have found this 2 different places. So I'll probably do that for you. That way you can kind of shop around, compare prices, compare shipping, that type of thing, and find the best option for your projects. So hopefully this gives you another option for sublimating on cotton and dark colors, or just adding a gorgeous metallic foil finish to those polyester projects as well. So if you have any questions about anything we've covered, drop down in the comment section, ask away. If you like this video, if you learned something new, give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe on our YouTube channel. We have videos like this every single week, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of those. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.